Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the story of Cristiano Ronaldo. This is a guy who's a total enigma, a global icon who's also just a massive walking contradiction.
Yeah, think about it. On one hand, you've got this symbol of peak performance, of just insane wealth, and on the other, a kid who literally came from nothing.
So, the big question is, how is that even the same person? To figure that out, we first have to get our heads around the crazy scale of his influence today. And then, we'll dig into the tough childhood that made him who he is. All right? Let's get into it.
Okay, so before we go back in time, let's just set the stage with the power this guy has right now. And I'm not kidding, it's a level of influence that's almost unheard of in modern history. Check this out. Over 1 billion social media followers. That's not just a big number. It means he's by far the most followed person on the planet. He has a direct, unfiltered line to an audience the size of a continent. And trust me, he knows how to use it.
And if you want to see that power in action, look no further than this. At a press conference, he just moves 2 bottles of soda out of the way, holds up a water bottle, and says agua. That's it. Just one word, one tiny gesture, and what happened? Coca-Cola's market value dropped by $4 billion. That's not just influence, that's moving mountains with a whisper.
His commercial power is it's off the charts. When he went back to Manchester United, they sold almost 500,000 of his jerseys in just 12 hours. 12 hours! That brought in over 700 crore for the club. That's not just breaking a record, it's completely shattering it. It just shows you how he can ignite passion and, move markets like nobody else.
And this power, it goes way beyond just football or brand deals. Get this, he decides to start a YouTube channel. In 24 hours, one day, he gets 10 million subscribers. To put that in perspective, it took Mr. Beast, the biggest YouTuber on the planet, 13 years to hit that same number. See, this isn't just influence anymore. We're talking about a full-blown cultural phenomenon.
So you have to ask, right? Where does this relentless drive come from? This insane hunger to win? Well, to find the answer, we've got to go way back. Back to a childhood that was filled with unbelievable hardship.
His life was a struggle before it even began. He was born into extreme poverty. His mom was already trying to support 3 kids, his dad was struggling with alcoholism, and she herself had grown up in an orphanage. She honestly thought another child would just be impossible to handle.
His early life was just one huge challenge after another. Can you imagine? At just 11 years old, he leaves home, moves almost 1,000 kilometers away to join a football academy. He's all alone, he gets bullied for his accent, and he was so poor that he and his friends used to go beg for leftover burgers at a McDonald's near the stadium, just so they could eat.
Then, at 15, just as things are starting to look up, his dream is almost completely crushed. He's diagnosed with a heart condition that could have ended his career right there. It needed surgery. But, and this is just a testament to who he is, he not only recovered, he came back to the field even more determined, with even more fire.
But when you have that much fame, you're going to get a ton of scrutiny. And for Ronaldo, that has meant some really serious controversy. These battles away from the game, well, they paint a much more complicated and, honestly, sometimes troubling picture of the man.
He even said it himself, 2018 was probably the most difficult year of his life. And that's because it was just completely dominated by this massive legal battle that threw a huge shadow over his career and put his family under incredible pressure.
We're talking about the rape allegation. It's something he has always denied, but it's become one of the most defining and definitely one of the most complex parts of his public story. Now, he's always maintained the encounter was consensual, and his lawyers say the settlement he paid wasn't an admission of guilt, but just a way to make it all go away. Still, no matter what, the case has left a permanent mark on his legacy.
And that wasn't his only big run-in with the law. He also got hit with a major tax evasion case in Spain. It was all about how his image rights, which are worth a fortune, were being managed. This kind of highlighted a pattern of these legal problems that have popped up throughout his amazing career. In the end, he settled that one, paid a huge fine, and got a suspended sentence. It was another really difficult off-the-field chapter for him.
But through all of that, through all the challenges, Ronaldo has shown he's not just an incredible athlete, he's also a really smart businessman. He's managed to take all that fame, all that focus, and build an empire that goes way beyond the football field.
He's built this massive global brand around CR7, and his business portfolio is just huge. We're talking everything from hotels and gyms to his own line of fragrances and even mineral water.
This wasn't an accident. This is all part of a very calculated, very strategic plan to build a business empire.
And he was way ahead of the curve on this. Years before other athletes were even thinking about it, Ronaldo saw the massive potential in his own brand. Way back in 2009, he patented his own image rights. And not just to protect himself, but as a strategic move to build his empire. He even sold off a piece of his image rights in Asia to a Singaporean billionaire, specifically to grow his brand in that huge market. Super smart.
So when you put it all together, he's just a story of complete contrasts. A champion who is forged in the fire of real hardship. A global brand that's also been shadowed by serious controversy. So what is he? A genius? A flawed hero? A business icon? The truth is, the final call on his legacy, that's a really complex debate, and it's one that history, and probably all of us, are going to be wrestling with for a long time.